boxer on his toes, ready for a big hurt. He took off his shirt, trained in pain for the big fight, knowing that this ain't no game, not playing.
What's up, boxing fans? This is Renee Jr. What's up, aka Box Young, coming at you with another round of Box Talk. I've been wanting to record this since a while, man. I just haven't had time, but thanks to all you guys who have been watching my videos. My new video I just posted recently about GGG. It's called GGG, The King for Long. Check it out. Check that out. And I want to just talk about general boxing. Specifically in the divisions of, the welterweight division, middleweight, and super middleweight division. A little bit of heavyweight, in general. Because right now these divisions are hot, man. Recently, we have been seeing amazing fighters coming out these divisions for the past few years. And I want to touch up upon this. First, I want to talk about the welterweight division, man. We have been seeing Spence Jr. He's been coming up, man, the last couple years. We saw the recent fight. With Lamont Peterson, and man, amazing performance. After the Kell Brook, after he smashed Kell Brook, man. Then we have him fighting Lamont Peterson, man, and wow, man, I was just impressed by Spence Jr.'s performance, man. He just executing, skilled, aggressive, and smart at the same time. He just keeps pushing and going. He just punches out, he boxes out, his opponents, man, in a really skilled way, a really aggressive way at the same time. Lamont, man, much respects to Lamont, and what I want to get at here with Spence, though, is that he's an up-and-coming strong contender in this welterweight division. Now, I want to touch upon this because he's been calling out, you guys know, everyone knows, he's been calling out Thurman. It seems like he's running around the bush, beating around the bush. He says he's not, but, I know, all the interviews kind of show, but we understand that Thurman, Keith one time, shouts out to him, man. Much love to him. Love him, man. Awesome boxer, too. And aggressive, and it would be a wonderful matchup to see Thurman and Spence go at it. But the thing here is that we know that Thurman has been out on injury, in his elbow. He's been out for a minute. He's gonna do a warm-up fight, what have you, and but apart from Spence calling out Thurman, he even I think he went too far. And now, when he called out Canelo, man, I think he went too far, man, because what we're seeing in boxing, you guys, I want to get, let's where I talk Spence, we see them winning, they're undefeated, but I think they're just kind of moving too fast, man. We have him calling out big names now. For example, Canelo, man. I think he gone too far, dude. I think he got a little too emotional when now that he's been calling out, he called out Canelo, man. I think you gotta understand, you guys. Canelo's a totally different division. They can fight, obviously. All Spence has to do is Spence even mentioned that he walks around at, I don't remember what weight he said. I don't want to. He walks around, he said, at middleweight. He says he walks around, at a normal weight he's at. He said he's around middleweight. So in an interview, he's, talked about that when he was walking the streets or something, And, he called, Canelo, I think, would really hurt Spence, you guys. Yes, you just got to analyze both guys. Canelo's powerful. He's skilled. He's just getting better and better. He's perfecting all his defects. He's been doing it for a while, man, Canelo. And I think Canelo, he's at his prime now, man. He's been amazing for years, even though he has been fighting a lot of big names who are way out of their prime, including Triple G. Watch my video, Triple G, The King for Long. That explains everything. I'm not going to get too much into that, but Canelo, man, right now he is in his prime. 2017, 2018, he is in his definite prime. He moved up to middleweight, and now he's the real deal right now, man. I got to tell you guys, the problem with Canelo, he's not really fighting, Triple G, man, he's out of his prime, you guys. You've got to face the facts, man. And in this rematch, watch the video. I said it, again, I'm almost positive he's gonna win Triple G, man. But now going back to Spence and Canelo, man. I mean, I think Spence, he's just jumping the gun, man. He has to take it fight by fight, like he always does. He always says it, which is great. You know, he's on point. You know what I'm saying? Spence always says, you know, his focus is on his opponent ahead of him every time he's gonna fight. And then after he wins, you know, he talks about, you know, he just calls people out. And I think just Spence is going too fast. And getting back to what I was gonna say a while ago, that boxing is just coming up with, you know, amazing boxers, and they're just calling out, you know, they're just trying to run too fast, man. They're just trying to jump the gun too quick. They're just trying to call out whatever names after they win a few fights. You know what I mean? They're starting to call out the big shots, you know, the big fighters, man. I mean, these guys got to slow down, man, because, you know, they just, that's my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Because if he really fought and I don't think Canelo even is, I don't even think you've heard it. I don't even think this has gotten to the ears of Canelo yet. I don't even think he even cares, man, to be honest with you. Personally, you know, Canelo, I don't think Canelo's not scared of anybody, man. He'll fight anyone, man. But the problem is his promoter, man. It's Oscar De La Hoya, man. He's just protecting Canelo from any loss, you know what I mean? So, or from a real fighter who's really in his prime, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, we got Daniel Jacobs. We got even Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr., you guys. He even said that he'd bring hell on earth, you know, if he fought Canelo. I'm not even gonna mention Triple G. Triple G is out the door, guys. Face it, man, guys. Come on. I mean, we love Triple G, one of my favorite boxers, but he's out the door, man. So we gotta face. Now, Eubank said he would bring hell on earth for Canelo, man. And I you know, Canelo and now that would be an amazing challenge. That would be one of the biggest challenges for Canelo, to fight Eubank Jr. or Jacobs, Daniel Jacobs, man. Before Daniel Jacobs gets out of his prime too, man. I mean, Daniel Jacobs is almost there too, man. So, I mean, that's the thing, you guys, that you know, we have Spence calling out Canelo. Canelo, I don't even think I think personally he would laugh at Spence, man. I mean, with all due respect, you guys, I mean, because you just got to face the facts, you guys. You got to look at their styles. You know, Canelo's way bigger than, you know, he's big. He's a big boy, man. Canelo's big, strong. He will not by any means throw in the towel. I've been following, you know, watching Canelo and analyzing him since 10 years ago, man. A good while ago, man. So I've been seeing Canelo. I'm from Mexico. I live in Mexico. I've been seeing it. I've been getting insight from people here in Mexico, you know, reporters from Mexico, you know, that do interviews here in Spanish, all in Spanish, you know, Spanish televised television, you know, and it's just, dude, you know, Spence, he's just moving too fast. And that's what happens with all these newcomers, man. Like, Spence ain't no newcomer, but, you know, when it comes to, you know, all these new fighters that don't have much fights in their record, they start calling out big names and just, I don't know why, maybe to get attention, I don't know. But, you know, you got to face the facts, you guys. A lot of hype. There's just too much hype right now. Too much hype where it's not really deserved yet, you know what I'm saying? Too much light is being shined upon fighters who are coming up, and people, you know, run with it. You know, they don't know exactly, you know, they don't see the history, the you know, like, remember, I got to mention this too, like, back in the Cesar Chavez days, Oscar De La Hoya days, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, etc., and, you know, those days of boxing when the heavyweight was glory, man. The glorious age of heavyweight, you know, and not just heavyweight, but all these other divisions. Everybody knew who the champs were. Everybody knew who the champs were. We're going back to Muhammad Ali days too, you know. Everybody knew who the champs were. Now, you got so many champs in the divisions. I mean, you don't even know, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. That's because there's just too much hype on fighters who, you know, they got to be patient, man. You got to, you know, get that record up. You know what I'm saying? Now we got boxers 10-0, 10 fights with 0 losses, and they're just the kings of the world. I mean, come on, man. You're just starting. You know what I'm saying? According to boxing before, and I think a lot has to do with it because of the media, the technology, social media is just everywhere. I mean, I think a lot has to do with that too. But getting back to the welterweight division, we got Spence. We got Danny Garcia, right? Which everybody calls him a cherry picker. I mean, everyone does. Now, let me explain this with Danny Garcia. And I'm going to get into other people in the welterweight division, like Crawford. Danny Garcia, he, you know, there's one main reason why people call him a cherry picker. One, because he really doesn't, I mean, lately he's been off. You know, he's been off for a while fighting. He doesn't really fight much anymore. And when he does, he fights, you know, apparently easy opponents. I think the biggest challenge, obviously, you guys know, is Keith One-Time Thurman, and he lost that fight. So, but the reason why he's being called a cherry picker too is because everybody see a lot of people who follow boxing and love have a passion for boxing, real boxing fanatics and critics and analysts. They see that Danny has skills, man. He has some skills. I mean, I gotta give him big ups to Danny Garcia, man. And I'm not degrading him or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking what we see in the media and everything. He has some skills, man. He's a powerful puncher. He's a good timer, good counter. Smart in the ring too. He's a great timer at the power punches he throws in. He's really skilled. I mean, he's kind of flat-footed, but he's just skilled at what he brings to the table in the ring, and he doesn't put it to the test, just like I was saying a moment ago with Canelo. I mean, he doesn't really face the best fighters that he could be facing, you know what I'm saying? And that's with Danny, you know what I'm saying? We got Danny, but I'm just mentioning he's a great competitor in the welterweight division as well. Keith one-time Thurman as well, aggressive. There's so much to say about all these boxers. You know what I'm saying? Now we got Crawford. You know what I'm saying? We got Crawford and the Terence Crawford in the welterweight. Now he moved up to the welterweight division recently. And the thing here is with Crawford, man, I don't think he's gonna last really long with all this competition in the welterweight division, man. There's so much strong, hungry lions, undefeated ones, man. Even with 1 or 2 defeats or what have you. And there's just so much. I think personally Crawford made probably a mistake in coming into the welterweight division. That's my personal opinion. I know there may be a lot of naysayers. That's cool. Everyone has their opinion, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think Terence Crawford is gonna last long, man, in the welterweight division. There's just too much, competition in this welterweight division, man. I think he just stepped into a place where he's gonna probably lose, man, soon. He's probably gonna lose soon. So that's just a little touch up on the welterweight division. Middleweight, we all know. Canelo. We got Sanders. We got Billy Sanders. You know what I'm saying? Saunders, however you pronounce it, man. I mean, he's calling out now Canelo too. You know what I'm saying? Triple G. I mean, why call out him? I don't know. But yeah. Triple G has the titles. Yes. Triple G has to retire already. I mean, that's. We're not gonna look at him, man. I mean, Saunders, if he fights Canelo or Daniel Jacobs, I mean, come on, you gotta face the prime. You gotta face the prime fighters. You know what I'm saying? Who are in their prime, who are at their max, not when they're going downhill. No. And that's the problem again in boxing we see. People fighting downhill fighters, and then they get a big old name for it. They get a reputation. I'm thinking a lot of it is promotion for business purposes. They get, fight big names, you get a big paycheck. Just like Canelo fought Cotto out of his prime. Just like Canelo fought Mosley out of his prime. Just, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on and on, man. I mean, come on. So Saunders, if he really fight, I mean, we got Saunders in the welterweight. We got Canelo in the middleweight. We got Saunders in the middleweight. We got Canelo in the middleweight. We got Jacobs in the middleweight. One of these guys got to face each other soon, man. That's where real talent will be pushed to the test. Will be put to the test, and will give amazing performance in the ring for all fans, to see. We go down and we go up to the heavyweight division. We got Anthony Joshua. We got Anthony Joshua. We got Deontay Wilder. He's gonna fight Victor Ortiz, right? Everyone wants to see Wilder and Anthony Joshua go at it. I mean, everybody, and that would be an amazing matchup also. But again, we're seeing the same thing that we've been seeing in boxing, guys, for the last quite a few years. Mayweather brought an era. He brought the business side. He brought the business side of boxing into, magnified. He magnified the business side of boxing because we all know how he profited, you know what I'm saying? How he did a smart business move, making his own promotional company, Mayweather brought that, apart from his skills and all that, when he was younger. He brought that to boxing, you guys, and now the majority, I don't think all obviously, but a lot of boxers are now focused more on the business side. Where can they profit more? You know what I'm saying? Their promoters, their managers, they're just looking to profit more, and they're using the boxers to get the most money they can, you know what I'm saying? Which is fine to a certain extent, but what we're seeing, guys, is that great boxers with amazing talent and a lot of potential, they're not facing the best anymore. And we saw that back many years ago where the best would face the best. Doesn't matter when, where, let's go. We're in their primes, let's go at it, let's go. And those boxers got the most respect. That's why, you see it time and time again in the media, man, and social media. A lot of fans, analysts, and critics are saying, man, you guys just fighting a bunch of warm-up fights, and warm-up fights are hyped as if they were mega fights, and when it shouldn't be like that. People want to see Wilder and Anthony Joshua. I think people want to see, which would be an amazing bout. Eubank versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Jacobs, or or Jacobs versus Eubank. Even though Eubank is a super middleweight, easily they can go down. They can meet. Canelo and Eubank can meet, and I think that would be a war right there, guys. That would be war. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we see going on right now in these divisions, guys. We see amazing boxers coming up, amazing talent that's coming up and coming up. And, I think we got a great year, 2018, for boxing. You cannot escape the fact of boxing before and boxing now. Boxing now seems more like business-oriented. Why? Because we saw Mayweather fight McGregor, right? We all saw that. It was a mega promotion. Millions and millions upon millions were made. It was one of the best business deals Mayweather ever done, apart from Pacquiao. I don't know the figures. I think Pacquiao made a little bit. The fight against Pacquiao, I think he made a little bit more than with the McGregor fight. I don't know the figures, but we know that fighting McGregor is one of the biggest, business moves that Mayweather has ever done in his career. And what happened? The majority, people were going crazy over that fight. I wasn't. I didn't even want to see the fight. I didn't really care, because I knew it was just a business gig with Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect, I love Mayweather. Amazing. One of my favorite boxers too. But, how can that be? It's so unfair that you got a guy coming from UFC and hasn't had one professional fight, and his first professional fight in boxing is with Mayweather. Come on. What a, in my opinion, what a joke. What a joke, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. You had a lot of other people in line to fight Mayweather who definitely deserved it, you know what I'm saying? So whatever, man. But now we also have, in the other divisions, talking about lower divisions of welterweight, right? We have Lomachenko, right? We have Gervonta Davis. We got to touch up upon this too. Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko. We have Mikey Garcia. I mean, you guys, we have some amazing. And again, what do we see? Lomachenko just recently fought Rigondeaux, right? 2 divisions inferior to him. Lomachenko, I mean, he can fight people. He has, Davis. Davis has been interviewed several times. His team, Mayweather, his team, his entourage around him, they're saying that Lomachenko he's getting to the older stage of life and that he has to rush his career. He has to fight, the best quick, because now that's the reason, the justification that, the money team uses for Gervonta, and Gervonta says the same thing. I guess they're telling him to say, say this. This is the reason why. They probably don't tell him to say that, but Gervonta Davis is saying pretty much the same thing. So look at the facial expression. I think it was one of the first interviews that Gervonta Davis was asked about Lomachenko, about facing him, and his facial reaction when they say, "Oh, so are you gonna fight Lomachenko?" In other words, something like that. You should have seen that. His facial reaction. It's there on YouTube. He made a some kind of expression with his mouth, and it kind of looked like he hiding his feelings, obviously, but it came out in his face. His first reaction was like, "No, I don't want to." It's like he didn't want. It looks like he doesn't want to, but the justification that the money team is using is that Lomachenko wants to rush it. Davis is still young. We're just gonna focus on taking it easy, taking it slow. I don't know. They just don't want to fight. They don't want him to fight Lomachenko. So we see that happening again. Lomachenko, it would be an amazing fight with Lomachenko and Davis. But what? Business, the business side of boxing, which is being more predominant nowadays, is not letting the fight happen. That's point blank, you guys. That's pretty much the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, and what do we have also? Mikey Garcia come face Lomachenko. Yes, Lomachenko has amazing skills, you guys, but he can get put out. He's not you know, and come on, guys, he just has a few fights in his record. He already has a loss. I mean, I know you guys might say, yeah, well, you know, the loss was controversial, whatever, right? But the point is that Lomachenko has just a few. He doesn't have that many fights, like 10 if I'm not mistaken. He doesn't have that many fights at all, and people are just lifting him up. And many people are going back to his amateur career, and yeah, man, his amateur career was amazing, and yeah, but they're not putting him with the best, man. Put him with Mikey Garcia, put him with Gervonta Davis. I'm sure Gervonta Davis would stop him, even though that maybe Gervonta Davis, I don't know, they don't want to fight him, but I'm thinking Gervonta Davis, man, he would stop him, man, or Mikey Garcia would stop him, because Lomachenko hasn't faced that kind of power yet. I mean, he hasn't faced no fighters like that, like with that kind of power, with those kinds of power punches, with those kinds of skills. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao not too long ago, right? A few months ago. I don't know how many months ago. I don't, you know, time for me just goes by too quick. I don't know, 6 months ago, half a year ago. I don't know. I just watched the fights, and I don't really keep track of time too much, but. You know, Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao. Jeff Horn was one of the sloppiest fighters I have ever seen. Headbutted, you know, busted his... Pacquiao had 2 big gashes in his head because of 2 headbutts. I mean, come on, man. Horrible fight. Horrible. Manny Pacquiao did amazing. Jeff Horn, horrible. I mean, much respects to that dude, but... nah, man. I mean, another example of, you know, somebody... Pac-Man should have... Again... Pac-Man should have retired many years ago, man. That's my opinion. He should have done it before he started losing, going downhill, man. He's just going downhill from now on, man, Pac-Man. You know, and now they're talking about fighting with Lomachenko. Come on, another guy in his prime who's gonna fight another guy who is way out of his prime, seeing the same story again and again, you guys. Seeing the same story again and again. I mean, that's what we're seeing in boxing, you guys. A lot of it is because of business. So that's what we see, you know, in boxing in general. We're seeing these things happen. We do have good fights coming up, you know, good fights, good matchups, but there can be better, you guys. I mean, what's going on now is we have prime fighters, amazing prime fighters, fighting way under par opponents. I mean, that's what we're seeing, guys, in boxing in general. I mean, there are great fights, but, you know, I'm just wanting to talk about boxing in general and the potential that these divisions have, but they're just not being, you know, directed how not all the fans want. You know, now going back to McGregor and Mayweather. Now Mayweather got into an octagon, right? He got on YouTube, you know, I don't even remember what he said, but he was, you know, sitting there, you know, with his hands, and, you know, I don't remember what he said, man. It really doesn't, I don't think it matters. I mean, he's just trying to, you know, again, it's his business strategy to bring more people into the hype. To actually see him in the octagon, I mean, come on, you guys. And then a lot of people are following it and actually like, oh, wow, this would be amazing. No way, man. I mean, come on. It would not be amazing at all. He would get smashed in that octagon, you guys. I mean, and you see how easy it is that people fall into this stuff? I mean, it's just all entertainment, you guys. It's kind of like, you know, unfortunately, boxing, I love boxing, but it just seems like it's turning more into WWE. Not to that extent, obviously. But it's just more business, you guys. I mean, come on. Mayweather's bringing more of that into it, unfortunately, man. Even though he's been, you know, I don't know, guys. But that's what I'm seeing in boxing, man. That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, there are still amazing matchups. We still got the amazing potential. Also, I didn't mention the Charlo brothers. We got Hurd as well. Jarrett Hurd. Man, awesome. He's going to fight Lara. I mean, Hurd... You know, he's one of the few warriors also, in my opinion, man. He's one of the few who'll fight anyone. Let's go. He doesn't, looks like Hurd, he doesn't get caught up in that hype stuff, man. We got the Charlos. I mean, we still got warriors. You know, that's what I'm saying. I'm going back to that. No, like, we still got warriors in the boxing, in these divisions, guys. We still got some warriors up in here, you know, who will get at it. They don't care about the hype. They want legend. They want to, you know, they want to leave a footprint into the history of boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, you guys. That's what about business. Yes, of course, we can't discard that, but there has to be a healthy balance. And it seems like boxing nowadays, the industry is just being more on business, you guys, and that's what we don't want to see happen. I don't want to see that happen. You know what I'm saying? Go back to fights before when the Cesar Chavez days and the De La Hoya days. You know what I'm saying? Trinidad, Felix Trinidad days, and you know, Mike Tyson days, all those things. You know, all them boxers. You see a whole different thing, man. You see fighters get in there who are in their prime and they go at it, man. I'm not talking about street brawling and that, no. But, you know, you see real skills. We see skills nowadays, but it's just not really always put to the test. Some fighters are. We still see some good fights right now that are put to the test, but not as much. You see, so what do you guys think? Put your comments below, you know what I'm saying? And much love to y'all, man. We'll get back at you with another video later. Peace.
To that trap, nah, you don't want some. It's the end of the road with no way out, and in that place you can't hear when someone wants to shout. Death is what